You were so close. Not almost close. Actually close. Everything you worked toward was right there, one step away. And then you blew it. Not because something went wrong, because you did something. You picked a fight that didn't need to happen. You stayed up until 3 a.m. doing nothing. You just stopped. And the worst part? You have been here before. So what is actually happening inside your head? It is not laziness. You know what the work feels like. It is not fear of failure either. You have failed before and survived. And it is definitely not bad luck, because bad luck does not arrive this precisely at this exact moment every time. The sabotage always comes right before the good thing. The promotion, the launch, the relationship getting serious, the project almost finished. It is like your brain waits, lets you get just close enough, then pulls the rug. And eventually, a thought creeps in that is almost too uncomfortable to say out loud. What if you are doing this to yourself on purpose? You are. Just not the part of you that you are aware of. This is not broken wiring. This is not a character flaw. This is your brain doing exactly what brains were built to do, protect you from something that, to your nervous system, feels more dangerous than failure ever could. Success. In 1978, psychologists Stephen Berglas and Edward Jones ran experiments at Duke University. They gave participants a test. Some were told they performed brilliantly, others that their results were confusing. Then, before a second test, everyone chose between a performance-enhancing drug or one that would hurt them. The confident group chose the enhancing drug. That makes sense. But the people who didn't know why they had done well, they overwhelmingly chose the drug that would hurt their performance. Because if you might fail the second test, it is better to have an excuse already built. The failure has a container. Your identity stays intact. Berglas and Jones called this self-handicapping, and it is one of the most quietly human things your brain does. Here is the equation your nervous system runs every time you get close to something that matters. Uncertain success plus no excuse available equals unbearable risk. When you do not fully believe you deserve what you are approaching, when some part of you suspects it might have been luck, or that people will eventually figure out you are not as capable as they think, your brain starts building a way out. It does not do this loudly. It just begins quietly engineering circumstances. Procrastination, conflict, exhaustion, behaviors designed to create distance between you and the outcome. Not because it wants you to fail, because it wants to make failure survivable. And here is what makes the pattern so durable. It works both ways. If you fail after self-handicapping, the excuse is in place. You had a lot going on. The timing wasn't right. If you somehow succeed anyway, your brain reframes it immediately. Imagine what you could have done if you had actually tried. Either outcome protects your ego. Either outcome keeps the real question, am I actually good enough for this? Safely unanswered. Carol Dweck found that people who believe their abilities are fixed are far more likely to self-handicap. Every high-stakes attempt becomes a verdict. But fail with an excuse already built? The verdict is suspended. The sabotage is not weakness, it is intelligence, applied in the wrong direction. So what do you actually do with this? First, recognize the pattern in real time. The next time you find yourself creating chaos right before something good, pause. Name it out loud. My brain is self-handicapping right now. Naming it interrupts the automation. Second, address the actual fear underneath. The sabotage is never about the deadline or the launch. It is about the question your brain is avoiding. Am I actually good enough to have this? That question deserves a real answer, not a pep talk, but an honest look at the evidence you have already built. Third, shrink the target. Your brain panics at big success because it feels fragile and unbelievable. Make the next step small enough to trust. Not launch the business, send one email. Not fix the relationship. Have one honest conversation. The brain stops sabotaging things it believes are survivable. Your brain is not your enemy. It is protecting the version of you that has been through enough losses to be genuinely afraid of one more. The fact that you sabotage yourself right before the good thing is not evidence that you cannot have it. It is evidence that part of you knows it is real, and real things can actually be yours. Tonight, when you get close to something that matters, when the familiar pull toward the exit starts, you will recognize it now, not as failure arriving early, as proof that you are finally close enough for it to matter.